Hello, Awesomes. I'm back again, here to talk about Project 3C. This is the big kahuna, so to speak. So, in this video, it's going to be kind of an overview because I think most of you in Project 3A really did a good job of following Markel and using the task-oriented reference points as far as like, here's the plan, right? Our plan of work or work plan, or I think it was plan of work, what we called it. And that specifically delineated out those particular tasks. And as you'll see when you review Markel for this week, and specifically the questions that I've noted here on the assignment sheet, which I've just updated, you'll see that he does a very specific, keeps the task forward from the project. If you think about the research proposal, and then some of you may or may not reference some of your specific tasks for your progress report. You were responsible for a certain portion, maybe task 1, maybe all of task 3, or et cetera, et cetera. You can refer to those. And then this is a great idea for a project manager to even look back at your research proposal and remind him or herself of those particular tasks in which you engaged in. It's also a good way to stay consistent. It's a good way to stay on point and to stay focused, to share your findings and or results. So let's dive into Project 3C here. So this is the updated recommendation report. When I uploaded these, I think I may have uploaded the research report. Pretty much the same. I just very specifically am asking, we're specifically doing a recommendation as opposed to an informational or even a one that's like requesting further research. We're looking for a specific recommendation within the issue you've chosen to do in your group. So here it said, reports the most common and important technical documents in the workplace and often researched and written by teams. And so this is obviously giving us that opportunity to work in teams, divide tasks, divide and conquer, if you will. Reports provide information and recommendations in order to help organizations solve problems. A well-designed written technical report is informative and persuasive, often to multiple audiences. While I am specifically asking you to pick a local, very specific audience, I know in one case, let's say I've had one that was doing something as it related to the food bank as well as to CAPS here on campus. And so they had multiple audiences, but what I'm most concerned about is not whether you have multiple, is that you have one and that you have a clear audience and a clear purpose into whom you are writing this to. Who is going to, we want to know the person to whom we would give this report to that could then take the recommendation and then begin to put it into action. So that's where we want a specific audience for ours. Execute the report, propose in your proposal, your research plan, right? Those tasks. Write this report a decision-making stakeholder audience and a secondary audience of implementers, should there be any. Okay, I'm really mostly concerned about you have identified a decision-making stakeholder audience. All right, so total document length, approximately 16 to 23 pages, of which 12 to 16 are substantive original content composed for the body. All right, so in other words, the body pages need to be 12 to 16. Then the rest is going to be your front and back matter, which we'll talk about here. And then here says your report, either research or feasibility report, should have the following sections. And of course, ours is a recommendation. So down here. So front matter, you have a cover page, all right, which starts on page 362. All right, I'll give you those page ranges at the very bottom there, 362 to 383. So his sample report in the book, Markel's, actually I think starts on 360, and he's got like a transmittal letter or something like that. You want to transmit a letter, go for it. I mentioned the cover page. I mentioned that you have a table of contents page, a table of figures page, and an executive summary. And you don't worry about the abstract. Okay. Then for your body, all right, I want this to have an introduction. All right. You'll see it right in the pages 362 to 383. You can kind of follow this kind of the structure, if you will. So you got your research methods. What did you do? Right. You can, there again, divide those by task. It's so much easier. It helps you stay on task. It helps you stay on point. It helps you stay focused. It helps your audience. It helps you get your purpose across. use your tasks all through this. Research methods. What did you do for each task? Results. What were your results for each task? What conclusions did you have for each task? And you'll see in these pages, he does that. Then what were your recommendations, right? It's kind of like, it's a little bit like not necessarily your findings, but in a way, right? Now that we've concluded these things, we've researched all these things, here's what we have decided to recommend to you, decision maker, stakeholder, okay? Then graphical content, and here I say specifically, these should be in your report rather than at the end of your report. In other words, you shouldn't have like introduction, research methods, results, conclusion, discussion, recommendation, and then after that, just have all your tables and figures all bunched up. All right, so if in your research methods or in your results, probably more specifically, you've got, let's say, a graphical representation of a survey that you have performed, for example. Somewhere where you're talking about it and you're referencing it, that's a good place because it helps your audience visualize your results. Or if you're making certain conclusions, or in your research or in your introduction, there's a really cool graphic that help you set up your whole idea, or that represents a core value of something in your introduction as it applies to your specific topic and subject matter. Have it in there, right? And reference it. Make sure that you enumerate it, figure 1 or table 1, depending on what it is, and that you then label it and title it, and then you refer to it as figure throughout. All right, so you've got that's the 12 to 16 pages of the body part, right? And then you'll have your back matter. So you have you should have a references page, right? You should have I would say at least 12 to 16 strong, credible resources. These are optional appendices or an index. I would think all of us would have, if we're doing primary research, we should have appendices so that we can show our audience maybe our survey tool or a questionnaire tool, or maybe have a snapshot, maybe if you use Qualtrics or you did SurveyMonkey or one of the other ones, right, that you used. So your total document length, 16 to 23 pages, of which 12 to 16 are a body, as noted. Thursday, August 2nd. So I believe that's 2 weeks from this Sunday. Or it might be 3 weeks. No, it's 2. I don't quote me. All right. Mark L, chapter 12. And these are the pages at 362 to 383. And like I said, this is going to follow along with the exception of the abstract. All right. Don't need an abstract for this. I'm more concerned with cover page. So your cover page by itself, table of contents, obviously a page by itself, et cetera, et cetera. When you get to your body, every single one of your major sections, and please note, as he does this in the sample in the book, when you're done with the introduction, if you're halfway down a page or quarter way down the page, enter all the way down, your research method should then start on its own page. Okay, the results will start. It doesn't have to end on its own page. It'll end wherever it ends, right? And then your next section will begin at the top of a page. Okay, you'll notice that he does that in his as well. All right, so that's a pretty good detailed overview. As you're putting that together, there's a couple of things about the executive summary. I'll be back to talk with you about later on this week. But I want you to really kind of spend some time with pages 362 to 383, kind of get an idea of that voice, and then I'll address some more things later on in the week. I'll give you guys a couple of days to make progress and work on your progress reports, and then we'll keep thinking about maybe these specific sections, and I'll come up with some examples for you as well, and we'll review those later on in the week. All right, super awesomes. You have a most wonderful week. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know, and we'll go from there. All right, you guys have a great week. Take care. Thank you.